I'm at 3529 Park Drive in Covington, Kentucky, doing a sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a home. We're looking for any structural issues, root intrusion, anything that may be of concern to the buyer. We'll be going through a PVC stack in the rear left corner of the basement if you're facing the house. And I'm expecting, based off the age of the house, I'm expecting to find clay under the floor all the way out to the main, but we will see that in a second. So, as you can see, there is the stack, and there is the front of the house. Comes the door going out to the garage. And slid up one of the boots there. Go in there is not a clean out.
Ask you any questions, I'm going to tell you.
And as expected, as soon as we got down through the floor, we have gone straight into clay. There's a little tiny bit right there, which is actually fairly normal about having a small belly there at the base of the stack. For some reason, those fittings tended, because of the extra weight, they tend to drop just a little bit. But that camera lens is only about a quarter of an inch off the bottom of the pipe, which is, you know, very, very little water. And so in a 6-inch pipe, a quarter inch of water is nothing to be concerned about.
Have a door. So this filter needs to be removed. Measure from here to here. The width is correct, but the height is not correct. And they got this one in backwards, but like the arrow should go this direction. So whichever way it's sucking from is the way that needs to go.
So far, everything looks really good.
See, filter door.
Nice and wide open.
I'm not going to note if the filter
You have some stuff on the front of the camera there. There's some solids. It actually looks like grease.
You'll remember it.
Like a hardened little grease bird put together. That can come from, obviously, the kitchen stuff, but it could also come from fabric softener. That tends to build up a little bit too. Now, here's something I haven't seen before. There's a plastic fork in the center of the 6-inch pipe, and it's spanning it sideways. So we should be able to get by that, but that's definitely a first. It's wedged in there just right. So we'll see if we can either knock it loose or get past it. Now that's not really a concern. It can catch stuff, so you might want to have something run through it, but if you ever have an issue, that would be a good place to start. It seems that the rest of this pipe is wide open. So we'll check on the way back, see if I can pop that loose. With it being plastic, it should float on down to the main.
So that's, I mean, everything else on it is looking okay. Besides that, your combustible air. I mean, this is still breathing. So far, this all looks really good. Air in here,
especially for the age of material. You have little tiny bits of offset, but a lot of times you'll get that from they kind of rotate these fittings, the male end inside the female end, and so that's how they would kind of get slight bends or turns. I haven't seen anything of concern.
That guy's going to be pretty disappointed if there's no girls in it. It's literally the opposite of what I said.
We should be getting close to the main based off the footage. There is a connection coming in from above. I am going to check that on the way back at 75 feet. It's probably could be an old lamp hole, but we want to check to see what that connection is. actually expecting to be a lot closer than that, so his main must be all the way across the street.
Okay.
But the line looked really good coming across. I didn't see any structural issues. All the connections all look nice and tight. Don't see any root intrusion, which is a normal problem for clay pipes. So this all looks really good. I will note the fork if I can't get it loose. And I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna pause and get a locate and see what this is. If this is another line dropping in, or if it's a lamp hole for like a clean out. So I'm gonna pause the video here. We're gonna get an exact locate. Okay, so I stopped here and located this line. It's in the middle of the driveway. I believe this is probably like a storm connection or something coming from a downspout, or because there's no opening, there's no clean out there. It is in the center of the driveway. The line comes over and goes out the driveway. So so I'm thinking, based off the placement of that connection, it could be a storm. I don't think it's a shared connection. If it was, it would be further out. It's probably just a storm connection. But we have no way of verifying that at this time. The rest of the line looks really good. See all the connections. Just a tiny, tiny bit of water there. It's kind of where they were making. Looks like they were slowly getting drop on the pipe by rotating the female end inside or the male end inside the female end there, and kind of rotating it down to get drop. That's where those little lips are coming from. There's a connection to the side. That looks like, based off the dirt, that's the one out in the garage. There is the fork. Actually did get pushed out of the way. Let's see if we can pop this thing loose or something. It's even further out of the way now, so that's good. But I am going to note it at 34 or 35 feet, just so you know it's in there. But it looks like it's out of the way now, to the point where it would take a lot for something to get up that high to stick to it. And there is that chunk of grease came loose. So I'm gonna actually run some water here and see how that acts when I run some water through there. Shouldn't take long to get to it. Go.
That help?
Right there. second probably. Flushing the toilet a little bit too, it seems that kind of helps push that chunk out. I think it's right there. Yep. Pop it loose there. Yeah, it looks like it's stuck pretty good. Yeah, you'd have to get some pretty hot water going through there. Maybe a shower or something will break it loose. Might try some hot water and see if that hot water can break it loose. It's not causing any problems right now, but since it is just laying there in the middle of the line, just want to see if it'll break loose for you. Yeah, I don't think this is going to break loose. It's something to know. If I will note that on the report, but like I said, it's not stopping anything now, but just to know that it's in there, you might want to, if anything ever comes up, you'll know it's in there. I mean, the water's overtaking it. It shouldn't, and it's smooth enough to where the toilet paper and everything will go right by it, but it can grow over time. It'll catch more grease and just get bigger. So it will be noted on the report. So here's that little belly here right before we turn up into the connection. Very, very slight. Not an issue. And here we are vertical. And we are out. So the line looked really good structurally. Nothing really to report there. You had that tiny, that little grease ball there at about 30 feet. And then fork in the line at 35. So, meaning there is an actual plastic fork in the line. But structurally, the line looked great. Don't really have any complaints about that. It's just something to note as far as the grease and the fork, just in case anything happens in the future. You know, if something catches on it and you indication of a backup, that would probably be the culprit. So that'll end the inspection at 3529 Park Drive in Covington, Kentucky.